Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for the week of August 21st. This week, definitely check out astrojar.com for more awesome readers and astrologers. But let's see what we have going on for you here. So, let's just move this out of the way. You start off with the 10 of Spades. So, starting off the week with worries. Worrying about things that you don't need to worry about. So definitely let your worries go. This card can also mean just like regular good things like traveling to new locations, planning on travel, and even like simple things like receiving shipments, receiving things coming in the mail, stuff like that. So, again, it doesn't have to all be bad. And not only that, it can represent new beginnings, starting something new. Next, you have the Eight of Hearts. Very good card. Great for love, by the way. It is a card of needing to socialize to get that love, needing to socialize and get out there in public to find somebody. So, again, if you're looking for love, definitely a great time to get out in public. And it represents reciprocal love. So, meaning the person that you find could love you equally, and it's great for current relationships as well. If you're in a relationship, it can kind of represent the same thing, shared mutual love between the two of you. Other than that, it's a great card for water signs because it can represent daydreaming and turning your daydreams into reality. So a lot of you might need to do that. And it's also a card of like finding other ways. I wouldn't normally say this, but again, you have a combination of cards here of needing to kind of like do things with the resources you got. So needing to, needing to figure out how to, if you want to start a business, needing to figure out how to do that, even if you can't. Needing to kind of like find some way to start something. And it does say there are multiple ways for you to do that. Next, you have the Ace of Spades card of existing problems being resolved. So definitely a very good card for you. Like I said, with this eclipse, plenty of changes, lots of changes coming in for a lot of you, not just Cancer, but definitely a lot of changes because of that. This card can also represent needing to cut things out of your life. You have the Nine of Spades, kind of like the same deal. It's like a card of needing to figure out what you don't need and needing to kind of get rid of it at this time. Next, like I said, you have the Nine of Spades, needing to cut things out of your life that you no longer need. But it's also a great card of justice. And justice coming in for you. Card of like pushing yourself to your limits to be more successful. And it can even represent consulting work or seasonal work. So again, if you're looking for work, it would be a great time for those of you who don't have a job to get like a temp job or seasonal work, like I said, or something along those lines. It can also represent kind of a relationship where, and you have the Five of Hearts here, so this makes sense. It can represent a relationship where you don't know where you stand, like a relationship where you're not sure where it's going, you're not sure how the other person feels about you, all of those things. With this card, it's just a card of time. It's just a card of like just wait, kind of like waiting it out and seeing how things go. Next, you have the Two of Spades, another card of separating away from something. So again, I think a lot of you could just be cutting things out of your life, probably because of the eclipse, probably just like letting go of things you no longer need. Also, kind of getting a weird message on this card this week. I am getting that it's representing clarity for you, which, again, normally this card does not represent that. So it's just a kind of like a message coming in. I do think that there will be a great deal of clarity for you this week on probably a bunch of different ideas and maybe a bunch of different plans that you have. You could be more clear as to what you should do. And finally here, you have the Five of Hearts. Five of Hearts, as always, can represent jealousy from other people, but it can also represent starting something new, starting a new idea that you have, starting a business idea that you have, or pretty much starting, even starting a relationship, really. This card would represent a new relationship, though, for like those of you that have been in a long-term relationship and maybe there's been a breakup or there's been some sort of change. It can represent something new there. Also, let's see what else we have here. There could be, some of you could be moving as well, thinking about moving. Like I kind of said this last year that I think 2016, 2017, 2018 are kind of like big moving years for people. I think a lot of people will be moving during these periods of time. Again, it's kind of like an obvious message, but you have all these cards of separation, and it could just be some sort of move that you are making. moving to a new location or something like that. And some of you, fives in some card reading systems can just represent remodeling, making changes to a home that you're already in, or it could be just remodeling yourself, kind of updating yourself, making changes to yourself. I think now would be a good time for you to do that as well with these cards. So looks like a great week, actually. Even with those spades cards, I wouldn't be too worried about that. They're not necessarily the bad ones. So thank you for watching and enjoy your week.